Many cultures have their own mythical roots in the invention of music. In Chinese belief, there are different stories, the most famous being from the Lushi Chunkyu, which says in 2697 BCE. The musician Ling Lun, on the orders of the emperor, Huangdi, created bamboo flute by imitating the song of the legendary Fenghuang birds. The invention of music in ancient Greek mythology is credited to the Muses, different goddesses who were daughters of the king of the gods. Zeus, Persian or Iranian belief holds that Jamshid, a legendary Shah, invented music. In the most stringent sense, prehistoric music, more usually termed primitive music in the past, encompasses all music produced in preliterate cultures. Prehistory, starting at least 6 million years ago when humans and chimpanzees last had a general ancestor. Music first appeared in the Paleolithic period, though it remains unclear as to whether this was the middle, 300,000 to 50,000 BP or Upper Paleolithic, 50,000 to 12,000 BP. The large majority of Paleolithic instruments were found in Europe and date to the Upper Paleolithic. But it is equally possible that singing arose far before this time, though this is virtually impossible to confirm. The possibly oldest instrument is the Divj Babe flute from the Divj Babe cave in Slovenia, dated to 43,000 and 82,000 and made from a young cave bear femur. Allegedly used by Neanderthals, the Divj Babe flute has received great scholarly attention, and whether it is truly a musical instrument or an object formed by animals is the subject of serious debate. It would be the oldest known musical instrument and proof of musical culture in the Middle Paleolithic if the former. Other than the Divj Babe flute and 3 other doubtful flutes, there is virtually no surviving Middle Paleolithic musical evidence of any assurance, similar to the situation about visual art. The earliest objects whose labels as musical tools are widely accepted are bone flutes from the Swabian Jura, Germany, namely from the Jason-Klostro, Hohlfels, and Vogelsberg caves, dated to the Aurignacian, of the Upper Paleolithic and used by early European modern humans. From all 3 caves there are 8 examples, 4 made from the wing bones of birds and 4 from mammoth ivory. 3 of these are near complete. 3 flutes from the Jason-Klostro are dated as of the oldest, c. 43,150 to 39,370 BP. Considering the relevant complexity of flutes, it is likely earlier instruments existed, similar to objects that are common in later hunter and gatherer societies, such as rattles, shakers, and drums. The absence of other instruments from and before this time may be due to their use of weaker, and thus more biodegradable, materials, such as reeds, gourds, skins, and bark. The most initial instruments found in China are 12 gudi bone flutes in the modern-day Jiahu, Wuyang, Henan province from c. 6000 BCE. The only instruments dated to the prehistoric Xia dynasty, c. 2070 to 1600, are 2 king, 2 small bells, 1 earthenware, 1 bronze, and a zun. Because of this extreme scarcity of surviving instruments and the common ambiguity surrounding most of the Xia, creating a musical narrative of the period is impractical. Prehistoric cultures are thought to have had a broad variety of uses for music, with little unification between different societies. Music was likely in specific value when food and other basic needs were inadequate. It is also probable that prehistoric cultures viewed music as intrinsically connected with nature, and may have believed its use influenced the natural world directly. The origins of Indian classical music can be found in the oldest of manuscripts, part of the Hindu tradition. The Vedas, Samaveda, one of the 4 Vedas, describes music at length. Ravanahatha, Ravanastran or Ravana Hastavina is a bowed fiddle popular in western India. It is believed to have started among the Hela civilization of Sri Lanka in the time of King Ravana. This string device has been recognized as one of the oldest string instruments in world history. Here are some of the timelines for certain music genres. Country music began in the southern United States in the early 1920s. Funk started in African American communities in the mid-1960s. Hip-hop music was originated in the United States, specifically the South Bronx and the New York City, by African American youth from the inner cities during the 1970s. Pop arose in its modern form during the mid-1950s in the United States and the United Kingdom. Reggae music, originating from the late 1960s in Jamaica. Rock music dawned as rock and roll in the United States in the late 1940s. And did you know that music videos first appeared in 1894? Sheet music publishers Edward B. Marks and Joe Stern appointed electrician George Thomas and different artists to promote sales of their song The Little Lost Child. Using a magic lantern, Thomas projected a series of static images on a screen concurrent to live performances. This would become a famous form of entertainment known as the illustrated song, the first step toward music video. The year 1926 to 1959 was the era for music videos, talkies, soundies, and shorts. Then promotional clips were born during the year 1960 to 1973 era. The year 1974 to 1980 was dubbed as the beginnings of music television. The year 1981 to 1991 was the period when music videos started going mainstream. The year 1992 to 2004 is labeled as the rise of the MV directors. And soon it has evolved into the music video downloads and streaming era since the year 2005. If you want more in-depth research knowledge such as this, feel free to subscribe to Rpedia and ring that bell notification. That way, you'll always be able to watch the latest published videos just like this. And also, don't forget to share your thoughts about the topic in the comments section. By the way, references are included in the description section too.